Hi YouTube, it's Genesis. I wanted to do a sit-down video today and talk about something that I have to go through every single day, or that I have and will continue to have every single day for the rest of my life. I wanted to just sit down and talk about celiac disease. So, reason why I want to do this video, and I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, is because when I was first diagnosed with celiac disease back in 2015, I was only 17 years old and I knew nothing about the disease. I had never heard of it before, and it's becoming something that's more common now, thankfully. But I went onto YouTube and I tried to search celiac disease and I couldn't find much. You know, I wanted to find, I've always been really into YouTube, so I wanted to find a YouTuber. I'm like, there's gotta be a YouTuber out there that also has this disease. And I wanted to find somebody where I didn't feel so alone. You know, maybe a beauty guru, or, you know, somebody that talks about gluten-free makeup, or somebody that just talks about their diagnosis story. And I couldn't find that. So it's taken me a long time to make this video. I'm 21 years old now, but I just wanted to talk about the struggles I went through, because I was diagnosed my senior year of high school, and it was hard because it's a whole lifestyle change. A lot of people that don't have this disease don't really know or they don't know much about it. They just think, oh, you know, she says she has a gluten allergy. She just has to stay away from gluten, like, not that hard, just change your diet, blah blah blah. But turns out it's a lot more than that. And when I was first diagnosed, I didn't really understand what cross-contamination meant, but that is like a huge thing when it comes to this disease. You have to make sure that you don't share any, pretty much just like really hard to share a kitchen space. So like I said, a lot of people just think that celiac disease is like a gluten allergy, but it's much more than that. A lot of people think that you can just cut it out of your diet and then you're good to go. That's not really what it's about. You know, there's all sorts of things like cross-contamination, making sure you don't use products that have gluten in them, that you don't breathe in gluten, and gluten's pretty much everywhere and in everything. So it's something that's really, really isolating. And I was diagnosed my senior year of high school, so it was really hard for me. And let me just explain to you like what celiac disease is, and then I will go into my story of being diagnosed when I was a teenager. So celiac disease is an autoimmune disease. It is treatable but not curable, treatable with the gluten-free diet, and it's something that I will have for the rest of my life. And if you do have it, you will have it for the rest of your life. It's hard because you have to stay positive, but it is something that you will have the rest of your life. You know, maybe sometime in the future, you never know, there could be a cure. But right now, you have to understand that it's something that you're going to have forever. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. They probably think that not a big deal if it's cross-contaminated, not a big deal if you eat something that has gluten in it, like you'll survive. But no, with this disease, it's way different than having a gluten intolerance. Basically what happens when somebody with celiac disease eats gluten, it goes into our small intestine, or it goes into our body, and it damages our small intestine. And inside of your small intestine are little villi, like this, and those villi are what grab your nutrients for your body. It's what keeps you nourished. And basically when I was diagnosed, all of my villi were wiped out clean. There were no villi left. I was completely malnourished. I was losing tons of weight. I looked like, when I was first diagnosed, I looked like a walking skeleton. I looked sickly. I didn't have any color to my skin, my face. I basically felt like I was dying. And that's pretty much what was happening. And thank God I found out I had this when I was 17. It might have been a little bit nicer, you know, to figure it out when I was a kid. That way I just grow up in that lifestyle and I don't have to completely change my life. going along with that, so being 17 years old, a senior in high school, it was extremely difficult to completely change my life. I grew up eating gluten everything. You know, I was always the girl that would eat all the breadsticks on the table whenever we went out to eat. I grew up making fry bread with my grandma, being that I'm Native American. I would eat flour straight out of the bag. So, you know, it's dealing with a diet now, looking at my life. The gluten-free thing is the least of my worries. I don't care that I can't eat gluten. But back when I was 17, you know, it was hard. And I know some celiacs, they are diagnosed and they continue to eat gluten and it's hard for them to stop. I guess I never really saw it that way. That wasn't something I could do. And I think that's because I have really bad OCD and anxiety. I just can't damage my body like that. So as soon as I found out, I was completely gluten-free, and it was a learning process, you know, figuring out cross-contamination. My mom was a big help, and my best friend Michelle, she did all of my research for me. I would have been lost without her, because when it comes to like looking stuff up on the internet, I kind of get frustrated, and I think that's where my anxiety comes in, because I see one thing and then the next website says another thing, and I'm like, who's telling the truth, what's going on? And I just get really overwhelmed. So it was just nice to have my best friend by my side. Whenever I was like, is this gluten-free, she would look it up for me, and she was just always there. And my mom, of course, you know, she got rid of all the gluten in the kitchen. We were figuring out cross-contamination together, not using the same spoon for this and that. And I'm really blessed that she went gluten-free for me, because, I mean, she eats pretty gluten-free, but not 100% gluten-free, but that she took the kitchen gluten-free, because honestly, with my anxiety, I know some celiac disease people, some celiacs, can have a kitchen that has gluten foods and gluten-free foods, but for somebody that has really bad anxiety like I do, I don't think I would have been able to heal with a shared kitchen. I think I just really needed everything to be safe for me, because I think I would have continued to be sick if I would have been worrying so much. I kind of worry myself sick. And I also have IBS, so it's irritable bowel syndrome, so whenever I have anxiety, I get worked up about something, I get a stomach ache, and it's kind of a vicious cycle, because I will get worked up about something that's going on, about gluten, and then I'll get a stomach ache, and then, what was I saying? It's a vicious cycle, because let's say I'm around something that is probably gluten-free, and then I eat it, and then I start to worry that it wasn't gluten-free, and then I get a stomach ache, and then my celiac disease also causes anxiety. So it's just something that just is a vicious cycle for me. And I think the hardest part about this disease for me is having anxiety. But to go back to what I was talking about, sorry if this is just kind of all over the place. This disease, I mean, consumes my life. This is my life. And yes, I am more than my disease, and I don't talk about it a whole lot, but it is my life every single day. It's something I have to deal with every single day. So it's like I could go on and on and on about this and that and everything, but I wanted to talk about when I was diagnosed when I was 17, and you know, I was talking about all the helpful people I had around me, and that was great, but I also had people that were not so supportive, and I get that. Like, it was really hard, because a lot of my friends thought, you know, that I was overreacting. I was missing school a lot, so I felt very, very isolated, and I felt really isolated because I felt like I was the only person in my hometown that had it. I couldn't think of another person that had it. And all of my friends could eat whatever they wanted. You know, they could go out to eat this and that. They could go to the movies, have popcorn, and, you know, just do whatever they want and just live a normal teenage lifestyle. I definitely wasn't overreacting. It's very normal. It's okay to overreact when you have this disease. Overreact. It's okay to be over cautious, or just, I don't even know, it's not even overreacting, it's just okay to be that way because it's your life. If you have one slip up in this disease, if you get a little bit of gluten into your system, it's game over. Like, you have to start over. Your body gets damaged. It's basically like your entire body attacks itself. So it's just like it was just a knowledge thing. My friends didn't understand, and you know, I didn't really even understand either, but I was learning. I think the hardest part for me was that I missed out on everything my senior year. I don't really remember much. I remember the good parts and the little good parts I did have. You know, I was cheerleading captain. My team adored me. I adored my girls, and I loved cheerleading. I really loved it. And I kind of got diagnosed like in the middle of my senior year. So everything was normal in the beginning, and then as I was diagnosed, I got sicker than I was before. And I know that's kind of confusing because you would think, well, you had it your whole life, you know, why all of a sudden now are you so sick? And I think a lot of it is the depression kind of starts to kick in, and also you kind of go through, you know, a little bit of a detox from quit eating something that you've been eating for your entire life. And my body was kind of confused and building itself back up because it was so damaged. I got way sicker before I got any healthier, and I wasn't able to go to school like ever. I missed, I don't even know how many days, but probably I was probably gone more days than I was there. And the only reason I graduated is because I was on a special plan in school. It's pretty much like a disability thing where it's not my fault that I couldn't be there, but as long as, you know, like I kept up my grades and everything, I could graduate. Days and days went on, and I was missing tons and tons of school, and I don't think a lot of people knew what I was going through. They just knew I wasn't there, and I think it was confusing for a lot of people. And when I would show up to school, I would put on full glam. You know, I would put on my makeup just like this. I would do my hair, and I would put on like a dress and heels. I would wear heels every single day to school. And I think that was a little misleading for people because they were like, she's just skipping school because she looks great. But really on the inside I was dying. I just think, you know, you put in the effort and you make yourself look good and you feel beautiful, you're gonna feel good on the outside. So it was really important to me to continue to be who I am, because I think that was the only thing that I had left of myself was my makeup and my love for fashion. It was like the thing that I held on to, and that's why fashion and beauty and all that is so important to me, because it's who I am and it's what gives me my confidence. So it was just a very confusing time. I got the hang of it, and I felt, you know, even though I felt like my senior year was taken away from me, that's okay, because life goes on after high school. I do have my great moments that I had in high school. I was cheer captain, and even though I was gone every day, I came back like one day, and all of a sudden I was nominated onto snow court, which is like homecoming court. So, and that to me, like, I know it sounds really superficial, whatever, but it was really important to me because I felt like even though I was gone, I still made a difference because people still knew who I was, and I felt like the people that voted for me weren't, you know, like the popular crowd. They were everybody else, the people that I was friends with. Everybody I was friends with, you know, like I was an emo in middle school, so I was friends with everybody, and even probably some popular kids, whatever, but I just felt like being nominated onto something like that meant that I made a difference, and I made an impression into people's lives. And people always told me they looked up to my confidence, and they would say, wow, like I could never wear something like that. And it's just funny because confidence is always something that I've had, and even when I am not feeling good, I put off this energy that you have to love yourself. You have to. I just wanted to make this video, and I hope it was helpful for somebody. I will be doing more videos like this in the future, so please like this video and subscribe for more. I appreciate you listening to me so much, and I hope you have an amazing day.